following is a Galactic Digital Studios production. So you're probably wondering why I haven't been streaming lately. Well, there have been some stuff going on. We had some client stuff that I had to take care of a couple weeks ago. And then this past week was just crazy chaos ensued stuff. But yeah, this is not an illusion. We are doing Tech Time, part of the Closing Tag Network, but it will not be a stream. It will not be a continuation of the website build. That's coming later. That's coming on this channel probably in the coming days or weeks or whatever. But yeah, we haven't completely abandoned that idea yet. Hey, you can never rule anything out these days. But no, the reason why I am doing a special podcast edition of Tech Time today is as follows. This is from April 23rd, so we're almost about a month behind on this news, but I feel it's important for tech stuff. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, issued a final rule to promote competition by banning non-competes nationwide. What? Protecting the fundamental freedom of workers to change jobs, increasing innovation, and fostering new business formation. Now, stop there. I will say there are pros and cons to just about everything the government does these days. But in terms of removing non-competes, making them legally non-binding, this is a huge win for workers. And I'll explain why here in a minute. But I continue. FTC Chair Lina Khan said the following. Non-compete clauses keep wages low. They do. Suppress new ideas. Again, facts. And rob the American economy of dynamism. That's a word. Including from the more than 8,500 new startups that would be created a year once non-competes are banned. The FTC's final rule to ban non-competes will ensure Americans have the freedom to pursue a new job, start a new business, or bring a new idea to market, end quote. 8,500. Wow. I knew it was big. I knew it was massive. I did not have any idea it would be that big. You imagine 8,500 small businesses starting up almost at the snap of a finger? I mean, hello, payday for me. GalacticDigitalStudios.com. Thank you, and you're welcome in advance. The FTC estimates that the final rule banning non-competes will lead to new business formation growing by 2.7% per year, resulting in more than 8,500 additional new businesses created each year. The final rule is expected to result in higher earnings for workers, with estimated earnings increasing for the average worker by an additional $524 per year, and it is expected to lower healthcare costs by up to $194 billion, that's with a B, over the next decade. In addition, the final rule is expected to help drive innovation, leading to an estimated average increase of 17,000 to 2,900 more patents each year for the next 10 years under the final rule. This is all from the official FTC site. So, before you dog on me, where are you getting your information from? Why aren't you citing your sources? Well, I just did. FTC.gov. There you go. When in doubt, go straight for the source. That's what I always say. This is wild. Okay. First of all, banning non-competes is the right play. Now, I have not had to deal with a non-compete other than very briefly in like 2014 since I started becoming a developer. Really ever. But I've heard horror stories. I've heard a lot of horror stories, particularly in the gaming industry. Now, this would normally go under or be filed under GameStream, but I figured I would, file it under tech because it involves tech more than gaming, particularly with like game development, game testing, website development, all the different tech sides of things. The tech industry is probably going to be the most affected by this ruling, and in every good way possible. On one hand, employers are kind of dicks. If we're being honest, employers are dicks. Mostly. There are some good ones. I happen to work for a good one right now. But in general, employers can be absolute assholes and will slap a non-compete on just about anything these days. And a non-compete basically makes it so that, let's say for instance, you work as a game developer for, we'll say Microsoft, since they're the big boys. They're the biggest game in town at this point. So you're working as a game developer for Microsoft. Now, for whatever reason, and layoffs have been kind of running rampant through the gaming industry over the last 2 years, you get laid off in this hypothetical situation. Under the old rule, the contract that you signed when you first joined Microsoft as a game developer would make it so that you cannot go find another job as a game developer for a specified amount of time. Now, that specified amount of time depends on the non-compete that you signed. It could range anywhere from 30 days to 2 years. Can you imagine training for years to be a developer, to be a technician or whatever field of work that that makes you the happiest? Can you imagine being told by your employer, "We're sorry, Joe, we're sorry, Sam, we're sorry, whoever is listening to this, we're sorry, we're going to have to let you go." Now, on top of that, on top of being told you no longer have a job, you're now told on top of that you can't go turn around on Monday and get another job in that same field because the contract that you signed with the employer that just let you go. This ruling from the FTC makes it so they can't do that anymore to you. That is huge. That is monumentally huge. I don't think I can describe just how insanely massive that ruling is from the FTC. I don't think words can put into I don't think it can be put into words, to be honest with you. Now, on the flip side, as a business owner, as someone that has, patents and trademarks and all these different things, different ideas, you no longer now have control over whether or not that employer can now turn around, not really steal those ideas, but can turn around, get another job somewhere else, or start their own business and compete against you. You don't have that control anymore. Like I said, with a lot of these things from the federal government, there are pros and there are cons. I think this is going to help boost small businesses, but it's also going to help wreck small businesses. Now, all this talk about it's going to help increase worker wages, it's going to help drive down costs for health benefits. I'll believe it when I see it. Forgive me if I'm a little skeptical about that. I'll believe it when I see it. But this is a step in the right direction. This is a huge, huge step in the right direction. And I don't think it can be understated or it can be downplayed just how massive this is going to be for small business growth going forward. Yes, there are cons. Yes, there are going to be growing pains. But at the end of the day, this is going to help drive innovation and help drive more people to do the things that they want to do. Because at the end of the day, small businesses are going to be what's going to keep this country going. All these big businesses that you see now in the year 2024, businesses like Microsoft, businesses like Google, businesses like Facebook, aren't going to be around forever. Every business, every industry changes. And especially tech. If you're listening to this, you know as well as anybody, the tech industry changes on a daily basis. And it is not a wise move to stay stagnant in any one place for any extended length of time. Web developers especially, and I know this because I live it every day. We are constantly on the move. We are constantly looking not just to improve ourselves, but we're also looking for more opportunities, for new opportunities, for better ways of gaining more money. At the end of the day, that's really all work is. It's a way for people to make money. Plain and simple. You kind of need money to survive in a capitalist society. So the best way to do that is to work. Now, for me, every day, there are a checklist of things that I like to do depending on when I wake up and what time I'm doing this, that, and the other. Like for right now, I'm doing podcast recordings on a Friday. So the rest of my schedule is kind of built around that. But for me, I have a checklist of things that I need to do on a daily basis. One of those things is training. It can be, oh, I'm currently learning on how to do Python. So I'll do Python stuff. Or I'll go online and I'll see, okay, there's a thing that I want to build in Python. I'll look it up because in this industry, if you can think it, it's already been done. That's just how it is. And if it hasn't been done, then, I'm sure there's a way to do it. But most likely it's already been done. So that's one of the checklist items for me personally. I go online, I find something that I need to work on to help kind of improve myself. Second list on my checklist items is stuff for work, for my actual job. Third item is client stuff. So if you're watching this on twitch.tv/owlthegeek, you saw me fiddling around with my phone in between recordings. That's because I was talking to a client. Another thing is, stuff involving the podcasts. Right now we're trying to release Reels or YouTube Shorts, whichever platform you're on. Basically, it's like a condensed 1-minute video of something. It can be like a highlight. It can be something from one of the podcasts. It can be just about anything. Lately, it's been highlights because I'm going back in the archives and grabbing some of the good stuff. So I'm constantly doing stuff on a daily basis. Now, could you imagine my employer, who's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life? He's fantastic to work for. He's a bit of a hard ass when he wants to be or needs to be, but he has a heart of gold and he has the right ideas in mind. Could you imagine if he had told me that I can't do any of this other stuff for a full year even after I get let go? That would be death to me. That would be like, you might as well just throw me in jail at that point. But thankfully, I don't have to worry about that because he never made me sign a non-compete. So that's what I'm saying is, non-competes, I can see on some level where they might come in handy, where they might have a role in society. But for the most part, especially now with corporations and companies growing more and more corrupt by the day, this is a massive win for workers. This is a massive win for average people like you and me. I'm no big business. Galactic Digital Studios, I like to pretend is a big business, but it's not. This is a one-man show. I'm running an entire business. I'm an entire podcast network, an entire streaming network. All this stuff I'm doing on my own. So for me, having no non-competes is great. It's fantastic. It's, a breath of fresh air. So I can't speak from a personal vantage point on the bigger businesses, on, how this is going to affect them. Now, as a worker, I can speak on that because I've been, let go. I've been fired. I've been, a victim of reduction in force. I've been down that road before. And I can speak from a place of experience how long it takes to find another job, to find another opportunity, especially when you're working in an industry that's as competitive as development, as programming. It is insanely competitive these days because it is the way of the future. It is the way that we're going to survive as a society going forward. But that's the big thing about tech that's been going on lately. I was going to come on here talking about an article that I read about China losing tech jobs as a result of these latest tariffs that President Joe Biden has been, implementing. But I can't find a reliable source, so I'm not going to speak on it. That's a big reason why I haven't been speaking lately on News Desk about the Trump trial, because I can't find anything reliable. So I'm just going to kind of leave those alone. That is all the time that I have for today, guys. If you are interested in donating, donation button in the upper right hand corner of theclosingtag.com. That's theclosingtag.com. You'll find the donation button right there in the upper right hand corner. If you are watching this or listening to this, I should say, on Spotify, leave a review. Reviews are awesome and they're open. If you're watching this on Facebook, like, share, comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. That way, you're notified every time a new video is dropped. I am in the process of starting to separate some of the Closing Tag Network channels on YouTube. So bear with me on that as I'm doing that. But also, if you're watching this on Twitch, either live or after the fact, I did have to take the week off for Tech Time streams for building the bakery website, but we're going to be back on it on Monday the 20th. That is Monday, May 20th. We're going to be back on it for a couple more sessions. And then we're going to take the next Monday off for Memorial Day, and then we're going to be back at it. I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent and a little bit more insistent on these streams. I promise, guys, the stream's not dead. The website project hasn't been abandoned. We're still very much in full force on that. Just give me a few days to put some more material together and we should be good to go. And if you are interested in any further, maybe one-on-one consultation regarding, possibly building a website for your business, since I know, according to the FTC, there's going to be 8,500 new projects that are going to be popping up at any moment. Visit galacticdigitalstudios.com. That's galacticdigitalstudios.com. Hit me up. Let's chat. Let's have a conversation about this. Yeah? Cool. Awesome. And until next time. Well, before I say that, everybody that's been listening, downloading, donating, watching, doing everything you can to help support this podcast, your efforts are not going unnoticed. So, thank you. And until the next time that I drop either a stream or one of these special podcasts, remember to include your closing tags. Thank you. This has been a Galactic Digital Studios production.